Hey, what's up guys, it's Brendan and we are here doing an old school style commentary that I used to love doing on my old channel, doing some Battlefield 4. I know I used to do some old school style commentaries on the Battlefield 3 and the Call of Duty, but today we are doing it on Battlefield 4. And yes, I know I'm predominantly a WWE guy, but I do want to change it up. I don't want to be a one game channel, so I want to spice it up a little bit. We're doing some Battlefield 4 today, and a topic that is on my mind, and how I used to structure these videos is to pick a topic and just go for it. A topic that is on my mind at the moment is the first-person shooter genre, the market of the first-person shooter, and is it on the decline? Are we seeing the end of the first-person shooter genre? Because I say this because there really has been no hype for me personally for Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, I'm not buying Call of Duty Ghosts this year. It's the first time I've bought a Call of Duty since World at War, and the reason why I didn't buy World at War is because I wasn't into Call of Duty. The first Call of Duty game I got was Modern Warfare 2, so that was the reason why I didn't buy the other ones, because I wasn't into, I hadn't been exposed to multiplayer online gaming because I didn't have access to it. And since then, I've been addicted to it. I just absolutely love it. It's been my main game, my main genre of game, and I've played Call of Duty more than any other game ever. So transitioning over from Call of Duty to Battlefield, it's really, it's not that difficult of a process. The games are pretty alike, and I feel as though, I can find a deep amount of enjoyment out of both. And I didn't play Battlefield a hell of a lot. I think I got 4 days in game time, which for me, as being a shooter junkie, is pretty bad. It's not that much. I think I played Black Ops 2, 7 days, Modern Warfare 3, I think 6 or 7 days as well. And whereas Modern Warfare 2, dare I say it, 25 days. So big difference between the games there. So one problem I've had, maybe the fact that I haven't been playing them as much, is because they're getting a little bit too more complicated. I think what made the early Call of Duties very popular was the fact that it was such a simplistic game. Now I'm all for a complex game that requires a lot of skill and such to be good at it, but there comes a point where it becomes, well, is this too much work? I'm going to have to spend and devote my life to get better at this game, otherwise I'm not going to find that enjoyment, I'm not going to get better at it. But in a sense that's a good thing, because nobody is really good at it. If you want to be good at it, you've got to really learn the specifics about the game, which I think that's one of the beauties of gaming, is learning and bettering yourself at a game. But as well as that, the casual players just don't have the time to do that, so that people will automatically drop off the game and not play it. That's one of the things that plagues Battlefield, is the fact that I believe it takes a lot longer to earn that skill. I think you can pick up Call of Duty and in a week or so you're doing pretty well. You've automatically, you can see improvements in your results and your skill level already, whereas I've played Battlefield 4, I've jumped on the game playing pretty well because everyone's kind of new, and I was pretty decent at Battlefield 3, so I think my KD is already better than my Battlefield 3 KD, so obviously I've improved in that regard. But I feel as though that I need a lot more time to perfect a gun, find that right attachment, find that right way to go about a team deathmatch or a domination or a conquest, find that right way to go about these things in order to post a good score. Whereas I feel as though you can go on Call of Duty and you just get those good games more often than not. You don't really have to learn how to go about it. Okay, I don't need to go around this corner, otherwise I'll get killed there. I can just do whatever. It happens. So I'm not saying Call of Duty is the easiest game, but I feel as though that the skill barrier between Battlefield and Call of Duty might be a little bit more, a lot larger, and it takes a lot longer to get good at Battlefield, which probably is the reason why Battlefield will never be up there with Call of Duty in terms of the number one shooter, because of the fact that it does take a long time, and casuals just don't have that time, whereas Call of Duty fans can jump on and have an enjoyable experience. But anyways, going back to the topic, are we getting sick of shooter games? I think one of the reasons why I say this as well is because of the fact that there's such an oversaturation of shooting games on the market. I feel as though every second game that comes out is a shooting game of some regard, and I think that in itself is not a good thing, because you see so many poor quality first person shooter games, but you feel as though, okay, they're just shooting games for the sake of it, just to kind of capitalize on that the first person shooter movement that has been happening over the past few years. Whereas, it's rare to get a good, kind of action-adventure type game, like an Assassin's Creed type game. It's rare to get them nowadays, or an Uncharted. So getting those, I know Uncharted shooting as well, but it's not, multiplayer, first-person shoot style. You can really appreciate it, the open worldness and things like that. It's really good to see. It's very refreshing to have that style of game. So I think, too many shooter games have plagued the market, and it's kind of, to the point where I think we're all kind of over it. I think we're looking for something new to play and something different. And as well as that, I think the fact that that's killed the hype on, the new shooting games coming out. I'm specifically talking Battlefield and Call of Duty here. I think Killzone Shadowfall will be really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. And Titanfall on the Xbox looks pretty good. I'm not really a big fan. I think it's a sci-fi game. I haven't really looked much into it, but I'm not a real big fan of it. But I feel as though games like GTA 5 have really plagued the launch of these two top-of-the-line games. As well as that, I've been on the Battlefield 4 on the PS3, and I'm finding that there really isn't that many people on the game. I'm surprised. I thought, okay, there's going to be 100,000 people on, but really there's not that much. Maybe the fact that we're all kind of sitting back a little bit, going, well, I'm not real sure if I want to buy on the PS3. I might just save my money and see how it looks on the PS4 before I buy it. And I think that's one real problem that a lot of developers and companies have faced right now, is the fact that we're all too kind of hesitant to buy it on the current gen. We're just sitting back and waiting for the next gen. And even though they have the $20 upgrade or whatever, $10 upgrade for you Americans, that's still a bit of a problem. People are still hesitant to buy it. So I feel as though Battlefield 3 on the PS3, Battlefield 4, sorry, on the PS3 is really going to lack, and it's really not going to be that many people. So I'm really hoping that it picks up on the PS4, or it's really not looking good for Battlefield 4. And I think for Call of Duty Ghosts, I think more people than probably ever are not buying this next Call of Duty. I know majority of my friends are not buying it because we've all played Call of Duty that much, really not getting that much different this time around. And it's just to the point where, well, we've kind of experienced it before. Let's just save our money and buy something that we haven't really experienced before. And that's kind of the beauty of gaming, that there's so many different experiences that you can have in games. And I really want to try and branch out. I know I've got a humongous collection of games, but I feel as though a lot of them are just shooting games. I'm trying to branch out into sport games, into those fighting games, driving games, and things like that. Really trying to broaden my horizons. But I don't know, do we think the market is kind of sick of shooting games? Are we at the point where we just want something different? I'd love to know what you guys are thinking, and if you want to see more Battlefield 4 gameplay from me, please let me know in the comments section down below. Or if you wanted to say, fuck off Brendan, we want WWE only, tell me that as well, and I'll give you guys what you want. Guys, thanks for watching, and make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and of course like the video. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.